Sanibonani. Ubonga Sithole ujobe umondisi mantshana umsungu wensimbi. Bonga Bonga by name, and this is the Betrayal Chronicles. Mina shuti I have a couple of stories. One to share with the general masses based on my life's own experiences in terms of betrayal. You understand? Because I believe that life was predestined and pre-orchestrated for a divine purpose. Because I'm a profound believer in God's grace, you understand? So I believe betrayal is a very profound word which people take grantedly for us as individuals and masses to take into consideration. Things like trust and love are things that bind and unite us in the form of a unity in diversity, you understand? So what I would love to share is my story from being a street dweller, you understand? So I have been on the streets for almost 15 years, and people are still wondering as to why this unique specimen of a being could still be dwelling on the streets, or why rather did this person end up on the streets. Hence it's someone who seems to have a drive, ambition, a young, black, vibrant individual, you understand, with such a talent, you understand, for engaging with as broad and as diverse native and ethnic masses as possible. So the story goes one. My father was a taxi owner who was based Rustenburg, Bestere, you understand? As a South African dweller, everyone knows the taxi industry can be very demonic, savage, and violent, you understand? Because that empire mostly is built on the tears and the blood shed of its owners, and its the sufferers are mostly the bewidowed, you understand? So my father was shot dead, 9 bullets to the head. He died. So as fellow Africans, we all know Uguti, as a son or as a firstborn son, you are supposed to be the carrier of the legacy, hence an heir to the estates. So I was my father's only son, you understand? So I was supposed to take over the legacy and his estates, so to speak. So there was a rumor circulating about Uguti, my very own family, my mamncane, I don't know how to, my aunt, actually, let me put, was connected, somehow connected in the hiring of the headman, you understand? Because my father's own funeral, it was more like a disco. It was more of a celebratory than an actual funeral, because there were mixed reactions. Some people were drinking and partying. It's as if we went mourning a loss. It was a very big blow to my life, you understand, guys? Because don't forget, losing a father, especially especially at a time when one is passing, a teen stage, when I'm going to now adulthood, because we need that fatherly advice, you understand? So to me, it was more of an emotional strain, you understand? Not only was I suffering emotionally, I was also suffering a setback of losing a father. And now my own family were fighting over my father's estates as to who gets what, who gets who, and whatnot. So as time progressed, I received an SMS where I was told, your days are numbered, you understand? And then there were, we had talks within the family as to how the estates would be split and whatnot. And then there came a rumor. My sister, firstly, she was admitted in hospital, and then she was found to have excessive amounts of cyanide in her system. Cyanide is a form of poison. It's a lethal compound. So somebody had laced cyanide in her food, because she was the front man. She was fighting to gain these things, and then they wanted to silence her so that they can get these things to of themselves, you understand? So that to me was like a revelation on how very brutal human beings can be, you understand? To a point of trying to murder you for materialistic possessions, because I believe life is not defined by materialistic possessions. It's rather the size of the heart that counts most, you understand? So it came to a point whereby I was warned, you understand? And they told me, Uchi, if I don't stop pursuing, my days would be numbered, you understand? So we agreed with my mother to say, Bonga, these people are not a joke, you understand? So I had to flee for my life. That's why I fled, you understand? The very same people I thought were my family were actually people who were plotting against me for things of this globe, forgetting that this is no man's land. You die and all shall perish, you understand? So it was a very horrible experience, because imagine, I never received a cent of my father's estates. 19 taxis, you understand, and a house for that matter. They even went to, and the funniest part, my father bought a house. The title deed was not changed into his name. So imagine he stayed in this house for 32 years. When he died, the previous owner reclaimed the house back, and he won in court, you understand? And then he was also threatened, and then he sold the house and disappeared, you understand? So not only did the house was lost, there's fellow strangers living in that house, you understand? Because there was a time I knocked, and a fellow stranger opened the door, and you understand? So that to me, it murdered my soul, you understand? It was, now I'm this guy who was having so much ambition, because I was very excelling at school. All my teachers were like, "Hey, Papa, you are something else." Especially you, God. I believe God had blessed me with a rather broad and a vast cerebral. But all of that, I felt like domestic mishaps have suppressed me to a point of like feeling small. You understand? So, and as a street dweller, life on the streets was horrible, like legitly. And one of the most horrible things about living on the streets is the elements. You understand? Rain, for one, is your worst nightmare. Two, the cold. It's that's where you start. You even come to a point where you feel like maybe God is punishing you in a sense. You understand? Because now these elements become like part of your suppressing, and mind you, you have all these domestic. So if I was someone weaker, I should have died now, or maybe have committed suicide, because I felt like life was actually punishing me just for existence. You understand? Just when I thought I was trying to reestablish myself in life, trying to find myself purpose. You understand? There was a guy who came up to me. He was a regular, just passing with a car, you understand? Not only did I suffer betrayal domestically at home with my own relatives over my father's estates, now comes a guy reigniting my hope, because there was this time when that flickering flame of hope was dim now. Now here's the guy who rekindled my hope, you understand? Because I always had a dream of making it one day within the media space, like having my own drive show on radio or something. But I always had this passion for making it in the radio fraternity. So this guy, he was a former producer of a well-known musical giant, which produced hip-hop for the likes of MT and whatnots. So this guy actually resigned because he felt like they were using his talents. You understand? So he established his own production line. So he was like, Bonga, I just scored a new deal with a giant radio station called Waterback FM. And you, Bonga, he's like, this guy says he auditioned 30-something people, and none of them actually quite made the cut. But me, just by standing in the intersection while he's driving, as I approached him, you know I'm always a regular intermigrating these intersections, domestic and social. He was like, Bonga, you killed it. Not only did you beg to me, you actually auditioned and I just see you fit. And you know, this to me felt like a light to say, wow, I just found a guy who could give me hope to rebuild myself since I was still, you know, from being betrayed by my own family. You understand? So this guy, jump in the car. I jump in. We drive up to his place in St. Swithin Street. And then he just, you know, we put studio, put, you know, earphones and all excited, you know. And then he shows me the contract between, he was subcontracted by this radio station. And then he just, Bonga, let's go. And then he tells me, Bonga, I want you to start by presenting the news. And I was like, keeping you updated with the latest news on Waterback FM 99.3. Go with the flow. Damn, everyone just stood up and just started clapping. I was like, you killed it, you know? And then, Bonga, I want you now to do the top 40 countdown. And he said, Bonga, do you want to do it scripted? I said, no, I will come up with my own, you know? And then he was like, okay, why not? Camera ready, rolling, yeah. Mzansi, brace yourself. This is your hottest radio stations, killing the frequencies just when you thought we were done. This is your top 40 countdown. Number 40. Then they'll play the track, you know. I'll do the countdown until the number 1. This is what you've been waiting for, South Africa. Brace yourselves. This was voted the hottest track on our top 40 countdown. Number 1. Boom, and then they'll play the song. And you know, everyone was overwhelmed to say this guy is a natural. You understand? All right, you know. And then this guy pulls out $50. He's like, nah, this is for food and yeah. But your actual cut will come the day they release what's this statement or whatever, invoice. So we waited for the invoice, and I still remember the invoice was due the 14th of February. You understand? On the actual release of I called the guy. Oh yeah, it's you, Bonga. All right, we'll speak. He hangs up. Okay. Hours later, I call him. Oh, yeah. Okay, where are you? I'm at my intersections. Okay, I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. He drops. He never pitched. Following the following day, as soon as he saw the number, he kept ignoring my calls to this very day. That guy bouted me. You understand? So now I felt like betrayal was now becoming a constant event that kept repeating itself, because I had built a form of trust in this man who rekindled that flickering flame of hope in my life for a better, brighter, more prosperous tomorrow. You understand? As time progressed, no pitch up. Okay, it's fine. I continue with my life. Another guy comes into play. This guy, guess what? He's the general manager of the SABC. He drives a huge Jeep SRT8, like bazooka. Boom, you understand? I'm like, okay, window, you know? I'm like, oh, I studied in Afrikaans. Enige iets van jou hart af te trek en beswaar asseblief vir my belangrikste maat, want jy weet ek is elke dag bly om jou te sien. Oh, chom. He's like, whoa. And then I even asked him in Swahili, wewe unashika shilingi 5 for mimi rafiki yangu. Mungu anakuona mshikaji bwana. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm like, we embrace diverse, native, ethnic, linguistic tongues, verbally and orally. He was just blown away too. He's like, Bonga, you're something else, son. Jump in the car. Same scenario, different guy. You understand? I also, through excitement, Being blinded, because I always have this thing with people are not the same. You understand? One might betray you, but the next won't. I fell for the same trap again. This guy takes me in SABC. Guess what? He just scored a huge deal with one of Mzansi's biggest banks, Standard Bank. We went into studio, SABC, floor 16. It was in floor 16. It's the same floor where they did, I think it was SAFM. Yeah, it was SAFM. And then this guy takes me in studio. There was a guy, his name was Shingirai. He was a friend of the general manager. So Shingi works with his Nsimbi, like, 10 tables and whatnot. Then he puts me in studio, and then they give me a script. It was almost like a 16-line script, you understand? But then some of the words I memorized were, imagine a bank that caters for your every need. Well, we at Standard Bank believe you, the client, are family. Standard Bank is an authorized financial services and credit provider. T's and C's apply. You understand? Inspired, motivated, and involved. Those people were blown away. They felt like I was a natural in these, especially where the voiceover fraternity is concerned. Again, the guy, he's like, okay, boom. He drives me back. He drives through McDonald's, pulls out, he buys me a Big Mac. He gives me $100, you understand? And then the guy pulls out a paper of some sort. And then this guy tells me it's a contract, you understand? He says, this is to solidify my involvement in this. You understand? And then now I'm out of excitement and out of trust. You understand? Because betrayal is the opposite of trust. I trustedly signed. You understand? I never read, I just signed. Only to find out that was not a contract. It was actually a letter of consent. You understand? Because he was so smart that he never made me sign it while we were still there. He made me sign it at the same time telling me, hey, he's in a rush to another. You understand? So I had to just, quickly give it back to him, and then boom, it drove off. You understand? By the time I realized what due date of paying me came, I went there and looked for him. And then he actually said, Abuti, but I gave you $100. I was like, $100? What are you trying to define? And then he's like, you have actually signed a letter of consent. He pulled that same paper and read it to me. Guess what? It says I was not entitled, nor the body, nor SABC, nor the parties involved. You understand? I was more of like a pauper being used. Understand? He made me sign a letter of consent, signing myself out of any deal. Understand? So anything that was to be paid out went directly to his own pockets. You understand about it? So that to me was a deep stab to the back and to my heart. You understand? I felt a sudden crush spiritually. I felt like, I don't know how to express it. You understand? It's a sense of deep resentment. It's a sense of like a vulture prowling on a prey. And the saddest part is that these people, not only were they prowling on me, but they were prowling on me at my lowest, when they were supposed to be giving me a helping hand to rise from the ashes of being a street dweller. Here are these prominent executive individuals taking advantage of somebody who is being lost, who had been betrayed at home, stabbing him once more, refeeding me that medicine, that bitter medicine of betrayal, that very same medicine that caused me to be regurgitated from my own family and friends. You understand? People I called family. So not only was I betrayed by my very own family, here were these executive people who were in position and power and dominion to actually uplift me and help me to showcase what I possess, especially within the very same media fraternity of which I had a dream, which one day I'll make it within the corporate landscape, which is media, and they suck my blood. You understand? So it kind of gave me a sense of being worthless, like that. You know, when you feel pathetic, when you feel so down, because not only was betrayal becoming this disease or plague in my life, it was now becoming almost like a reality where when these in the different, especially negative individuals, pouring oral nonsense to me, it was now being absorbed. I was starting to absorb all this people calling me worthless, pathetic, just because I'm a street dweller. And I was starting to bottle that up. You understand? It was becoming like a concussion of some sort in my heart. You understand? Whereby I felt like now these people were like suppressing me to a point of feeling low and down on the streets. You understand? So I believe, Kuti, betrayal is something that is like a crack in the mirror where you are trying to look at your own reflection, trying to reflect on your own life, and it's, you know, it's blurry, you understand? So I'm still going strong with it too. Currently, I'm trying to build my own brand because thank God for media, especially YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, where you can try do your own thing, because I've been so used so many times. I'm starting to lose hope and trust in these individuals, you understand? So I'm in the process of trying to build my own podcast, you understand, and whatnot. Yeah, so yeah, that's my betrayal story, which I will carry with me as in my entire life. You understand? But I believe that no individual in this globe can ever break what His grace has given me. You understand? And I will bear testimony one day. You understand? Which things will prevail. You understand? I believe that I was destined for greatness. And as long as I still have a breath of life in me, God shall prevail. So that's my betrayal story, bafowethu. This is Ubonga, the Bonga, uSithole, uJobe, uMondise, uMatshana, uSongwe. Yes, bafowethu. Let us, it's like raising awareness, actually, bafowethu. These things do happen to abantu, and especially the saddest part is these things happen to the very least of our brothers who are trying to find their standing, their ground in life. Some individuals, instead of uplifting your fellow brother and sister, you're actually, I believe, it's being selfish. You understand that? So this scourge of betrayal is something that is deteriorating our moral fabric as this beloved country of South Africa, Bafowethu. So this country is beautiful, you understand? It's diverse, native and ethnic build-up of kids, you understand? There's no room for savage elements like negative vibes and karmas like betrayal. So this we do as almost like, you know, shedding light, you understand? So bafowethu, let us build trust, let us love, unite, and be positive with one another, build each other as this beloved country of ours. This is Ubonga signing out, the Bonga.